Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, counterfeit cigarettes and gallons of rum seized in Manchester, man arrested. A team from the police's Specialized Operations, Special Weapons and Tactics Unit on Tuesday seized several uncustomed goods and the sum of cash during an operation in Berrydale District, Manchester. Reports are that about 3 a.m., lawmen conducted a search of a premises in the area, which led to the discovery of 6,620 sticks of counterfeit cigarettes. According to the police, the estimated street value of the cigarettes is $330,000. The police say 5 pounds of ganja, 21 5-gallon bottles of rum, and 2 other 5-liter bottles of rum, and over $124,000 were also seized. A man was arrested in connection with the seizure. However, his identity is being withheld pending further investigation. These items were seized based on the suspected breaches of the Customs Act. The police are asking anyone who may have information in connection with the seizure of these items to contact the Narcotics Headquarters at 876-923-5729, the 119 police emergency number, Crime Stop at the 311, or the nearest police station. St. Catherine man accused of 2016 fatal stabbing in Old Harbour freed. St. Catherine resident Ipi Sharma, who was accused of a murder committed 9 years ago in Old Harbour, was on Tuesday freed in the circuit court after a witness testified that he was forced by the police to sign a statement. The man told the court that at the time he didn't speak English properly, noting that he had just arrived in Jamaica from Haiti. Arising from his testimony, presiding Judge Justice Dale Palmer instructed the 7-member jury to return a formal not guilty verdict. Sharma was then freed. Allegations were that on May 3, 2016, 44-year-old Derek Booth was fatally stabbed in Old Harbour, St. Catherine. An investigation was launched which resulted in Sharma's arrest and a charge for murder. He made numerous court appearances and maintained his innocence throughout. Sharma was represented by attorneys at law Tamika Harris and Albina Morris. Maria Deane's cell was cleaned before my arrival, former Indicom investigator testifies. Molly Plummer, a former senior investigator at the Independent Commission of Investigations who probed the Maria Deane case, on Tuesday told the Westmoreland Circuit Court that based on her observations of the Barnett Street Police Station lockup where Deane was beaten, the crime scene was not properly secured. Completing her evidence in the trial of Corporal Elaine Stewart and the constables Juliana Cleavon and Marlon Grant, who are charged in relation to Deane's death, Plummer told the court that she saw signs that the lockup may have been cleaned prior to her arrival on August 7, 2014, in contravention of the Indicom Act, which states that crime scenes must not be tampered with. In this particular case, based on the legislation, the scene was tampered with. To the time of my observation, the area where the incident took place was cleaned, said Plummer, responding to direct questions from presiding High Court Justice Courtney Day. Under cross-examination from defense attorney Martin Thomas, Plummer acknowledged that her forensic team arrived at the crime scene more than 24 hours after the incident, and that the scene would have been processed by forensic personnel from the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Meanwhile, the Westmoreland Circuit Court on Tuesday recalled the forensic investigator, Detective Constable Ricardo Evans, to the witness stand where he outlined the photographs of a drainage pipe on the outside of the cell block where Deane was beaten with a red substance resembling blood beneath the outer end of the pipe. He testified that he had swabbed the substance and sent the swab to the forensic lab. The case was adjourned for continuation on Wednesday. TikToker Candy cleared of assault charge after mediation. TikToker Kemar Jones, better known as Candy, was cleared of his assault as a common law charge when he appeared in the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court on Tuesday. The charges stemmed from a physical altercation between Jones and Winston Dennis on October 18, 2024. Both men were charged following the incident, Jones with assault and Dennis with wounding with intent. When they appeared before Senior Parish Court Judge Sancha Burrell, both men pleaded not guilty. The matter was resolved through mediation, during which Dennis agreed to compensate Jones with a payment of $100,000 to be made in 2 installments. The final payment is due on June 20, 2025. Jones was formally discharged and cleared of the charges. JTA and the Finance Ministry to discuss the increment payment in upcoming meeting. The Ministry of Finance and the Jamaica Teachers Association are scheduled to discuss the payment of increments to educators. JTA President Dr. Marcus Smith told the news that a meeting will be taking place within the next 2 weeks to iron out concerns raised by the union. He said during those talks, the JTA will continue to press for the earliest payment date for the increments.
We have over time significant concerns regarding how many members that are appointed by the professional association, the JTA, that are allowed to serve. That number presently stands at 6. With 31 members on the council, we would be able to appoint 6. We are concerned that there might be some very overt attempts at some point. We're not saying right now. So we might have a time when a political leader comes to office and stacks this council with a lot of political appointees. We think it is important that if you want the teachers to be fully engaged, the teachers need to be given more agent over their council to seek to professionalize the very job that they hold. The council, based on what has been outlined in the bill, has the authority to suspend or revoke someone's license. Let us take, for instance, the whole idea of suspension of a license. Upon receiving accusation against an investigation is launched, the council may seek to suspend the license of the teacher while they carry out this process. Now, we believe that that is a dangerous invasion of the one's constitutional right.
Alice is back. Crab vendor returns to Crab Circle. Infamous crab and soup vendor Alice Waugh is back at the Crab Circle, and the controversy has returned with her. Once banned, blasted online, and slapped with a $250,000 fine after pleading guilty to breaching the Public Health Act, the vendor has quietly reclaimed her stall at the popular Crab Circle located at Hero Circle, Kingston. Her reappearance, however, has reignited tensions as some vendors fear her presence could scare away customers. She mash up the place because once the people them see her bleach out face, nobody no want buy nothing, one angry vendor said. Once a popular vendor at a Crab Circle, Waugh fell from grace after she was seen in a viral video in an unsanitary act while handling food in October 2023. The footage triggered widespread public outrage, and the number of persons who normally flocked to the streetside eatery for boiled crabs, soup, and roasted corns dwindled dramatically. The Kingston and the St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, along with the Public Health Department, effected a temporary shutdown of the facility, trained the vendors in food handling and sanitation, and cleaned the area. Waugh was barred from vending there and was subsequently arrested and charged. After being away for an extended period, Waugh quietly moved back into her stall. When the news visited the popular food spot on Monday, it was clear the dust hadn't settled. One vendor exploded in anger as soon as Waugh was spotted. "That woman are coming like a crosses to backside." She fumed shortly after one of her longtime customers changed his mind about buying food there. "At 3 years the man a buy from me, and the minute him see her, him say no, me nah come back," the vendor said. "I just wait there me finally start sell off me things them. You know how long it take me to reach a point here after what she do?" the vendor added. Despite the brewing resentment, Waugh remained unfazed. "All of who no want me there, I for them business that," she told the news defiantly. "And of them come out here come see me." Waugh, who has sold at a Crab Circle for nearly 40 years, insists she did the work to return legally. She says she completed training at the RNM Trust and holds a valid food handler's permit. According to her, only one vendor is making noise about her return. Nobody else have no problem with me, as she alone a talk, Waugh argued. One nearby vendor seemed to agree. From she come the place get lively again. Look how much care passed since you stand up here, he said, hinting that curiosity about Waugh may actually be boosting foot traffic. But one first-time visitor from Westmoreland told the news she made the trip specifically for Crab Circle's famed fair, but was unsettled to find Waugh back at her stall. Why them make she come back? Them should make she come back here so? Despite her apprehension, hunger won in the end. After me come so far, me now go back without me crab them, she added, cracking open a crab leg as she waited for her corn. Meanwhile, Robert Hill, CEO of the KSAMC, told the news that Waugh had not been pre-approved to return. This is a subject for the Chief Public Health Inspector, Hill said. He said he only became aware of her presence at the location late last week. I contacted him as soon as I heard she was back. He has committed to conduct the necessary investigations and to update me. Hill declined to say whether Waugh is still officially barred, noting that a decision will hinge on the investigation and the verification of her documents. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.